And good morning, or afternoon, evening, lunchtime, whatever time of the day that you're listening to this. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. Listen, we've been hearing a lot about, and I hate to go political here, but I have to. Trump is being accused of misclassifying legal expenses. And the way that the prosecution in his New York trial is presenting it is so far-fetched that it has no legal standing whatsoever. Listen, when you get an invoice, if you're in business or in the personal side of your life, if you get an invoice from an attorney, you post it in your accounting systems as legal expenses. It's an automatic posting. Now, sometimes, as you get to the end of the year and you're doing your tax return, there may be a legal expense that should not be in a tax return because it may be dealing with something else. The company paid for it, but the trust paid for it, but it is not a tax deductible expense. So you leave it out. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, that is the legal approach to take. If you were to ever to get audited, that is going to be questioned. They're going to want to see what your legal expenses are and what kind of legal expenses, and whether or not they're justified under that, under the deductions of the IRS code. Legal expenses is deductible. And it's a good thing that you did take those items out that was not a deductible item. There's a lot of things that are booked in the accounting system that do not flow over to the tax return. Good example, if you are donating money to a politician, it's not deductible. If you are donating money to if you're spending money on a personal item, that small businesses do this all the time, where they pay for it out of the company account, but that shouldn't. If it's a personal item, it should not be deducted. I tell you, when I do a tax return, I take the financial statements and I go through it and I say, okay, that's not deductible. This isn't deductible, and I take it out, and it does not get posted onto the tax return. Even though my clients want it to be, I can't do it because under the rules of the IRS code, I can't do it if it's a personal item. Trump did not deduct this on his tax return. It was pulled out. The bill was paid. It was correctly classified as a legal expense. And he took it and he did it the correct way. Not Trump personally, but his accountants did it the correct way. So when you listen to the district attorney, and where they spent all day yesterday with that woman that Trump was supposedly to have an affair on, it had nothing to do with the accounting question of legality of legal expenses. Had nothing. But what it did was to bring in this lady who is notorious for being a sex object, and still is, and to make Trump look bad. But it had nothing to do with the case. Zero. And the same thing with this legal expenses. It is not an illegal act that was performed. It was an accounting act. GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, says that you can deduct legal expenses. The Internal Revenue Code says you can deduct legal expenses. So they have to prove a breaking of a law, but there's nothing that was broken. This upsets me more because, I deal with these issues every single day when I'm preparing financial statements for my clients, and I'm sorting through of what's deductible, what's not deductible. And to see that a district attorney and a judge is trying to make a legal case, which they're saying is a bad posting, it doesn't make any sense to me. Which means, am I ever going to be questioned as an accountant on, or as a business owner on my posting? Am I going to be brought into court now because they think that I should do this, that I should do that, but they have no legal action, but they make me spend thousands and thousands and thousands on legal fees just to defend myself, which is a deductible act. So we have this question that we really have to look and with a clear mind of saying that I hope that the jury is thinking about this. Where's the illegal act? Booking legal fees, booking invoices into legal fees is not an illegal act. So they have no case. They have no argument. And I'm afraid that more and more companies in New York, I would never want to be in New York, because you're now going to be looked at as a criminal and brought in and audited by the Attorney General's office to see if they cannot create an illegal act. Now that's what this district attorney is doing, and this is what the government is doing, is creating a fake legal act. Now I have to say something here. I'm not a Trump supporter, and I've always questioned him on certain things that he has done. But when it comes to accounting, and he has the best accountants in the world, and he also has the best attorneys in the world, and then he's getting billing from these accountants and attorneys, and they all go into accounting expenses and legal expenses. He's doing it correctly. So show me, tell me, convince me, where is the illegal act? Tell me where it's at. I tell you, this frustrates me more and more, because I see that the government has an overreach at the moment on businesses and on people they do not like. And when we see this happening, that means that we have to be very concerned about how it will affect us in business. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye. God bless.